Welcome back. The battle between Donald Trump and the former FBI chief James Comey has thrust the role of intelligence services into the spotlight. It coincides with the changing of the guard at Europe's criminal intelligence agency. Rob Wainwright is stepping down as executive director of Europol. During his 9 years in charge, Europol has become a leading force at fighting cybercrime. It's pioneered using data technology to counter terrorist threats and fight money laundering across the world. Now, in the C-suite is Europol Director Rob Wainwright. Good to see you.
Hi, Richard.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
When you look back on the 9 years, what do you consider to be the achievement that you've done at Europol?
Just to make the organisation more relevant, more able to help national authorities around Europe, indeed, in the United States as well, fight a much more dangerous security threats. You know, we're processing, exchanging 9 times as much intelligence across our platforms than when we were 10 years ago. 5 times as many operations and a level of complexity that I think are having an impact on helping institutions, governments fight cybercrime and terrorism, for example. So, you know, we've made some efforts. We've done some things that have worked, others that have not, but I'm happy about the contribution that we've made.
And dealing with the political realities of all the different members, all the different governments, the different forces involved, it makes you a diplomat more than a policeman.
Well, that's a major part of my job, absolutely. And dealing with the political community, as you know, 28 different countries in the European Union, trying to get them to understand from the police chief up to the Prime Minister the importance of countering what is a much more globalized threat of terrorism and cybercrime by exchanging more information, using platforms to run better operations to hit the criminal organizations that are working against us.
You can only do that if you have confidence in the forces in which you're cooperating with, don't you?
Yeah, it's about trust. You know, it's about building trust over a period of time.
So, when we talk about cybercrime, when you started, yeah, cybercrime people had heard of and things, but it was nothing like what it is today.
Today, just the latest operation. Finally got the guy, we think, that was the head of a very aggressive cybercriminal organization, stolen $1 billion from 100 financial institutions over a 4-year period, using a level of social engineering and malware, for example, that we haven't seen before in terms of really getting inside some of the major banks, remote controlling their bank transfer payment systems, even the ATM networks. This was Hollywood movie stuff, Richard, that was happening.
Right.
And that's the level we're dealing with now.
Who is responsible in the sense, obviously, the criminal is responsible, but you're left with the thing of the bank not having sufficient the security protocols in place, police forces not having intelligence on who may be committing these sort of things. I mean, I'm not doing a blame game here. I'm trying to understand, are we inevitably going to have more of this?
I think we are seeing more of it, but and the response to it, you name all of those people, all of the actors, the response to it is to bring them together in a more concerted community. And actually, the level of engagements we have with banks right now is off the scale compared to what it was, as well as the tech sector as well. So one of the things we're most pleased about is the way we've brought governments, private sector, law enforcement together.
What do you need more of? Because, come on, let's face it, Rob, you are on your way out. How long have you got left?
2.5 weeks, Richard.
Now, I agree in the case of the US, they did manage to fire somebody on his last day so he didn't get his pension. But that's not likely to happen to you.
Well, please don't say that, please.
So in your last interview here, have a go. What is it you want more of? There's the camera. You can talk straight to your bosses. What do you want more of?
I'm not going to leave government services and talk about that, Richard. I'm just going to say what I've always said, the value of international collaboration. Let's use platforms like Europol to exchange more information. Let's bring the community of the willing into our institution to make sure that we hit the largest criminal organizations. That's my message. Always has been, always will be. And thank you for offering me the platform to say that.
Do you need more money?
You always ask me that question.
Yeah, and the reason I ask you that is because when I interviewed the former head of Interpol, the guy who turned it all around, he once said to me in an interview, I need $1 billion and they're not going to give me it.
We don't need that. You know, what we have done is interconnected a community of 1,000 agencies. So actually we're a relatively small institution, but we're sitting at the hub of an enormous community. We need trust, reputation, credibility and opportunity far more than money.
And finally, in a post-Brexit world, where the UK, we've heard lots of talk about the role that the UK will play. How essential is it that the UK continues to be integrated into the intelligence network for Europe?
This is absolutely important that the European community stays together, the UK and others as well. That's an important part of the Brexit process. But, you know, I think also there's so many others that have to be involved in this process. And that's why, after 28 years of government service, Richard, 9 years in this fabulous job, decided to leave government service and do something with a fabulous company called Deloitte. So I'm going to be still active in this space, and I want to make sure that, therefore, we can help industry to fight cybercrime long into the future.
You're going to be an expert on cybercrime in the private sector.
I'm an expert on cybercrime now.
So you're going to come back again. This is my way of this is just my way of reeling you in. This is just my way of, catching the cop. You're going to come back and talk about it more on cybercrime.
I couldn't turn an invitation down from Richard Quest. What can I say?
Gosh, the diplomacy. It just oozes diplomacy. Good to see you.
Thanks very much.
I would say have a good retirement, but you're not retiring.
I'm not retiring. I'm going to work even harder to protect our institutions from cybercrime.
He's good. He is good.